Hi there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Right, so it's time for the 5th episode of the 39, the series that Bumper and I are doing. So this episode is about the Beast in Heat. Now, this is supposed to be one of the sort of more quirky of the video nasties. It's not necessarily one of the most notorious ones, but yeah, in the documentary about the video nasties, they tend to sort of laugh about it really, and you know, we'll get to why in a minute. But first of all, I'll give you Bumper's views. So, you know what? Let's put my glasses on. Right. So, The Beast in Heat, Bumper's thoughts. I'll read it verbatim, exactly how he's written it, okay? So, strange oddity of a movie about a super enhanced horny midget freak. Plays out like a decent low budget war movie. Intercut with the needless scenes of horrendous torture and violence. One thing I found strange is that the torture scenes were over the top violent, but any time someone was shot on the battlefield, there was zero blood. Add a low resolution stock footage and it's a bit of a sewn together patchwork movie. Yes, there is some, I'm not sure if it's from an Italian World War II film, but there's definitely some clips where the film quality changes completely. And you know, they're trying to beef up their battle scenes a bit more with these tanks and troops and that wandering around. And right, he goes on to say, well, obviously the questions for him: did it feel like a video nasty? He says, oh yes, there are some heavy scenes and of torture and violence that are disturbing. Some may find it funny due to the old-fashioned nature of the movie, but I thought it was pretty wild. One scene involving a close-up of a woman's private parts and the beast going to work on her pubic region had me reaching for the vomit bag. Yeah, not really any other way of putting that, to be honest. It's quite a hard scene to watch. Don't go away, I need to see that. It was quite well done, I suppose, because would like to think it wasn't done for real, because that would be pretty horrible. Anyway, so then he says, should it be a video nasty? And his answer is, where are we? Definitely yes, but only in the scenes involving the beast. Without the scenes, it would play out like a good low-budget freedom fighter type war movie. I'm not sure why they added the horror scenes. It was totally unnecessary to the overall plot. Yeah, in some ways it does feel like you're watching two different movies. I kind of have to agree there, but I'll give you my thoughts more in a minute. So, should any modern horror fans bother watching it? And Bumper says, I'm going to say yes and no. If you like extreme horror, then it may be worth a watch, but for your average Joe horror fan, it's a big no. So you're basically saying, if you're a real horror fan, then yeah, definitely check it out. Not just because it's a video nasty, but you know, it's a horror film. But if you're just sort of your mainstream, your Freddys and your Jasons, and that kind of, or your Hereditaries and Malignant and all that kind of stuff, then no, don't bother. But so he's given us a summary as well. Right, so his summary: not the best movie, too much juxtaposition between the scenes, making it a jarring experience. The war scenes are handled pretty well. Acting was okay, but the dubbing pretty poor, or pretty terrible as always. The torture scenes are pretty vicious. like the rats and the electroshock to the vag. Effects work was poor, and it didn't like much of the music, the score. I can't actually remember any of the music, so it clearly didn't make that much of an impact on me either. So, and he's given it 4 out of 10. Right, well, so I watched the documentary, as I said before, a few years ago now, and I talking about this movie and the scenes they showed stick out the most. Yes, I can sort of see why they've done the Beast bit. Basically, it's a faction of the SS that run by this female. I don't know if she's can't remember what rank she is, but she's heading up this kind of experiment, basically, and you see her injecting the arm of this man, if you can call him that, and to basically make him very, very virile. And he's in a cage, and he's in a cage throughout the whole film, basically. And then not long after that, she's talking to the scientist, and he's not really agreeing with what she's doing, but I think a lot of us disagree with what the SS did, definitely during World War II. So I can't remember if the battle scenes are the regular Wehrmacht or if they were the SS as well. But so when you're dealing with that aspect of World War II, then you're in for some nasty business. So in that respect, from my point of view, what they were doing is probably quite as absurd, that's what I was trying to get out, as it seems. They did do some weird and atrocious things. So yes, there's plenty of victims for the Beast, and because there's, as Bumper points out, that they kind of a freedom fighter thing going on, so obviously I think they're supposed to be in Italy, and so they've got some, I'm guessing by this time in the war, the Italians had sort of realised that they weren't going to get anywhere, and so there were clearly some that were fighting back, trying to blow up railway bridges and that sort of thing. So they took the women, because the women obviously knew who these freedom fighters were, and they were torturing them to get information out of them. And those torture scenes, they are quite graphic, and so I found the Beast in the cage done in a way that it was almost comedic. Yes, it is horrendous, and actually the female actors are getting pretty worked up with the situation, and rightly so, because it's very unpleasant what they're going through. But the actor playing the Beast, he's in a few of the other video nasties. He's just got this way about him, putting faces at the camera and that kind of stuff, and making all these weird noises, and it's sort of, I wonder if they almost did that. If it was too serious, it would be such an horrendous film. I think it would never have seen the light of day. So to have this kind of quirky, sort of almost joke-like demeanour about it takes the edge off a little bit. But the redhead from A Bay of Blood, which we did a couple of episodes ago, she is in this. She's one of the lead freedom fighters, and she's kind of let's say I don't know what's the best term to use, but the bit of skirt, maybe, keeping the Italians or the Germans happy, keeping the German officers happy and that sort of thing. So she's kind of going between both sides and passing information and that sort of stuff. But so yeah, for me, should it be a video nasty? Yes, it should be, because of what's in it. It's you know, quite horrendous in more ways than one. It's horrendous because it's a bad movie, and it's horrendous because of what they're portraying in the movie. One scene in particular, they're gathering up the villagers, and they're clearly going to shoot them and all that kind of stuff, which you don't see. But there's a scene with a baby, and that's a pretty, you don't see anything, but what's implied is really, really horrible. So did it feel like I was watching a video nasty? Yes, it definitely did. Like I said, I've known about The Beast in Heat ever since I watched the documentary a few years ago, and it's not the first time I've seen this. You know, I've had this a little while now, and this is the second time I watched it. What's the other thing? Should a modern horror fan check it out? Well, I would say the same with Bumper. If you're a hardcore horror fan, then definitely check it out. If you're a video nasty fan, then definitely you know, it should be quite near the top of your list. But if you're just a sort of a casual horror fan, no, don't bother. Don't go anywhere near it. So my score was going to be 6, actually, 6 out of 10. I think because I get a little bit more out of the World War II stuff, maybe than Bumper does. I know he's quite into his World War II as well. Yeah, that's what I got from it. It's potentially could have been a very good World War II film. But again, if they made the Beast bit less comedic, it just would have been utterly horrendous, and very hard to watch, because some of those scenes go on quite a long time, and it's only kind of because of his sort of silliness that it's not unbearable, if you see what I mean. So there you go. There is episode 5 of the 39. So sorry it's a little bit late compared to the last one, but as we've said before, this is not a scheduled thing. It's kind of as and when. But the next title that Bumper will be doing on his channel, and I know he's looking forward to watching this, will be Blood Feast, the Herschel Gordon Lewis film. So yeah, please like and subscribe, well, to my channel, but also to Bumpers if you want to carry on watching this entire series. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll also leave a link to the playlist of all the other episodes in the description below. Subscribe to both of us, give the videos a like so other video nasty fans can see our thoughts and views, and don't forget to set your notifications to all, so well, you know, both of us have got other interesting videos that are worth your viewing. So yeah, anyway, you know the score. So that's it for this episode of the 39. Take it easy.